right, everybody, Rob Ferrari here at Pocono International Raceway, and we're at the Slipstream event, which is a roll racing event where you can do, and we're actually right here by the sign, lined up in turn one. You can do grudge races on the left where you can say, I am racing this guy, and they'll pair you up and send you out. Or you can do the send it races, which is what we're doing right now. I just did a grudge race, which you just missed because Jimbo was racing as well. I was racing a 800 plus horsepower CTSV wagon, which smoked me, unfortunately. But I think I stand a chance at whatever I line up against here. A bunch of GTRs, a bunch of McLarens, some Supras. I'd love to run a Supra. Like, when I say I'd love to run things, I'd love to lose to some cool cars. And losing to the CTSV wagon's cool, because that's a cool story for that dude. He's like, yeah, I smoked a Ferrari. And this isn't like I smoked a 355. He smoked a 48 down the front straight of Pocono. So that's pretty cool. But I guess if you're running a 9-second Cadillac, you're used to smoking things. It's a different form of racing. So if you see here, we're all queued up. There's two sets of cones up there, the white cones and the green cones. You're supposed to sort of line up at about a 60-mile-an-hour roll and punch it at 60 at that set of green cones. You rip down the straight, and then there's a braking zone at the end of the front straight before going into turn one. This is purely using the track as a straightaway, nothing more, and ultimately it's a good time. It's not anything that's measurable or usable as far as like my car did X, except comparing it to the other cars here racing today. I don't know the exact distance being measured. The timing equipment is cool just to have it, but ultimately it's not like I can say my 488 does X in a half mile or anything like that, because I don't know if it's a half mile, it's not a standing half mile. Insert all sorts of different metrics. This is really just a go send it, have fun, fast event. And we're gonna have some fun. Rob Dom's not available to race here, but I did see an RX-7 in my rearview mirror, so we're gonna line up against him and let him represent Rob Dom, except he has a working RS-7, and the reason it's working is because he's got an LS swap. Third gear here. I keep losing. All right. See these marks here? I think these were, I know those marks, I think. Actually, maybe not, but there's a lot of people stuff it in the turn one here. Let's go race somebody else, Jimbo. I want to win. Do I race a GTR with a parachute?
No, we know how that's going to end up, Rob.
Yeah, sure. I think I'm losing a little bit on the fuel cut shifts, which is like an automatic shift. That's when you hear blah, blah, blah. It's because it's shifting for me. But it just feels weird shifting 1,000 RPM before red line, but I guess we're going to do it. I took them by like 8 cars. It was a completely different race on that one. I picked up a lot of speed, and I see my car now that it's up to temperature, or at least the in race mode, it went from warm up to go. I still didn't shift at 7,500 or 8,000. I was short shifting at 7, but I think it sort of limits the car's performance until it's warm, and now like it literally says go in my display, and everything is green. So I think it just had to be up to temperature. May have even been running lower boost. I gotta see what my trap speed ends up being there. And I may have found out that Ferrari in race mode is slower until it's at temperature. And that's much easier to do when it's like if you're retarding timing or keeping boost a little bit lower. But it felt a little better on that one. Things you learn every day. Took me, whatever, 600 miles to learn that. Now it's back up in warm-up mode. How do I get it up to temperature? I'm gonna be racing Porsche 996 Turbo, 600 something wheel horsepower. So I'm going to be running a Toyota Supra. This is going to be my last run because you can't see it, but I'm down to 1 bar of gas, just even idling. I've done, and I think I started out at 8, so I've done about 15 miles today, and I burned through a half a tank of gas. Just this thing drinks it. But guess what? You boys racing a Supra, so I didn't bring my Supra, so it's my chance to race a Supra. All right, car, have enough gas for me, and hopefully this GoPro captures the Supra. It's probably gonna smoke me because that's what Supras do to cars like me. All right, Supra. Good news, bad news. Good news is I had enough gas to do the pass. Bad news, I got my ass kicked again. All right, so it was a pretty fun day. I literally got my ass kicked by everybody. This is an event where you need a really fast car, and like arguably a 488 is a fast car. It just didn't really feel that fast today. I got my ass kicked by everybody but the one pass on the RX-7, which I beat him. That's the one where I pretend Rob Dom was driving. But even then, it wasn't really an RX-7. It was a LS swapped RX-7. So I think I don't know what my fastest speed was, but like mid 140s, but there's not really a lot of context to it. Turns out the racing was like a 60 mile or whatever the agreeable roll race was, but it was a 60 mile an hour, essentially a highway pull, 60 to say 150, and it's just done on the front straight of Pocono. So it's really not anything measurable or that you could transfer over to another venue or say my car's faster than that car, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. It's really like a bunch of guys coming out and burning gas for a good reason, which is semi-bragging rights, but more so just going out and burning gas and having a good time and enjoying your car. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks Slipstream for having me out here. If you want to check out Jimbo, I don't know if he's putting up a video on his channel, but he ran his Corvette today, and a good time was had by all. We got to pull a car in the trailer, unlike that one, which ate the timing equipment at the end of the track. So be careful for Mustangs at racetracks and car shows and pretty much anywhere that you see a Mustang. Just keep eyes on it. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.